Hey guys, welcome back. I hope you're having an amazing day. Let's get right into the stories. The first story is titled, I Didn't Have to Work Overtime? Okay, roger that. I am a mariner. My position on this ship is mate. Below me are my deckhands who are responsible for the labor work like painting, grinding, maintenance, line handling, cargo ops, etc. Above me is the chief mate, second in command, and the captain, in charge of everyone and the responsible individual for the entire ship. We are officers, and we do the planning for navigation, ship handling, training, payroll, etc. I work for a private company that pays me by a day rate, which is a 12-hour workday. I work 1 month on and 1 month off. Like most industries, we are undermanned, can't hire enough to fill all positions. Now, this ship I work is even harder to crew up, mainly because of the captain. He's got a notorious reputation for being a jerk, so people find all sorts of ways not to come to this boat. And if they do, they only work one tour and never come back. I joined this ship back in May, and for the last 7 months, it's been kinda hell working for this captain. He's a narcissist, condescends everyone, insults everyone, works us like slaves, never thanks us, just an all-around class act. You know these type of bosses. They never let up. They push you to the limit and just make you hate work and life. With that said, I've been working 15, sometimes 18 hours a day because we're short-handed. I'm doing all sorts of work that's not in my job description. I had to do cargo ops, handle mooring lines, maintenance, all in addition to my mate duties. I'm a very hard worker, a team player, and never say no to work. The thing is, we don't get paid for any more than 12 hours of work a day. So all those extra hours I worked are unpaid. It burns me and I freaking hate it, but like I said, I'm a team player. I want to make sure it's safe for my guys, the operations get completed, and clients stay happy. So I do what's asked of me. I'm also the cook. We don't have an official cook on board because this is considered a small crew and small ship. I was cooking lunch every day for my crew, and many dinners too. Generally, you're on your own for breakfast and dinner. I was so good at my job that he and the chief mate passed their duties on to me so they can just sit back and relax. Chief mates and captains have a lot of paperwork to do, but I was handling that for them too, until up to this point. Well, one day, I'm just completely burnt out with these 15 to 18 hour days. I get into a discussion about how the captain and company is stealing my wages because I'm working more than 12 hours a day. I asked him if I could show up to watch an hour later than my scheduled duty. The engine department does this when they require their folks to work overtime the day before. I work a swing shift which overlaps both the captain and chief mate, so it's not unheard of or uncommon to let guys show up late, especially if they worked more than 12 hours the previous day. Well, once I asked to sleep in an extra hour, all hell broke loose with him insulting me, calling me names, being racist, nobody wants to work anymore, blah blah blah. Just nasty, inappropriate behavior that shouldn't happen but happens all the time in this industry. He then finishes the verbal beatdown with a cocky eating grin. You know, mate, you never had to work overtime. You could have just said no. I was steaming at that point, but I just replied with, okay, roger that. I called it a day and went to bed. Cue malicious compliance. The next day, I'm already on watch, and he comes on to work and asks me what's for lunch. Nothing. I'm not cooking today. Did you pull out anything from the freezer at least? Nope. So nobody had any real food for lunch. They all made sandwiches and ate chips instead. Later that day, hey, I need you to go finish painting the rescue boat. The guys are busy with other projects, and I want this done today. Well, Captain, since it's not in my job description, I respectfully decline. We get into a little arguing, but he concedes. The very next day, he pulls the same thing. What's for lunch? Nothing. What do we have that we can cook real fast? I don't know, Captain. I didn't check. Cooking isn't my job, remember? So I don't plan on doing it. He rushes to cook some whole chickens in an hour, and they came out raw and really ticked off the crew. Nobody touched his food. This routine lasted a whole week until it was the end of my tour and I got to go home. I returned to duty a month later, and he thought I would forget or let it slide. I indeed did not forget or let it slide. For the next entire month-long tour, the captain had to do the cooking because the chief mate and I refused to do it, and he complained because he had to wake up early and prep food. I was already doing all that when I was cooking. I just didn't complain. I enjoy cooking, but I was willing to die on this hill. I wasn't letting it go. I refused to let him win this battle. I did not cook one meal. To be petty, I made myself delicious food, did not share it, I refused any work that wasn't in my job description. What's he gonna do? Write me up on disciplinary for not doing someone else's job that isn't mine or for not working past 12 hours? Not happening. Understand, at this point I was physically tired, burnt out, and mentally drained from doing everyone's job and taking crap from him. I asked for a transfer to another ship, but got denied, so I'm still stuck on this ship with this captain, but now he knows where I stand. And I haven't cooked or did extra duties since. And that's what you get for taking advantage of a good worker and always insulting me. The next story is titled, Neighbor Likes to Park in Front of My House? Okay then. This happened a few years ago. My neighbor started parking on the street behind my car, like literally inches, for no apparent reason. My neighbor has a driveway, empty, and also lived 2 houses down the street. I don't have a driveway, so on-street parking is a must for me. So after a few weeks, I asked if it was necessary to park so close when there was literally a shit-eating grin on his face. A few weeks pass by, and my car gets hit because someone thought there was enough room to clear as his truck blocked the view of my car entirely. I see this happen, but unfortunately can't get a model or license plate number. I find my neighbor's email address, because I really didn't feel like talking to him, and asked him again if he could just park further down the road closer to his house. He replied, nope, suck on it. Okay, I had lived here for quite a long time and never had any issues with him or any other neighbors. I keep to myself, never make noise, don't have any noisy pets or parties, etc. His truck has his business name on it. Google it. Find out it's his own business. Lots of Yelp reviewers, BBB rating, etc. All these links point back to his website. I go to check his website, it doesn't load up. I head over to Whois and see that the domain isn't registered. I snag it. Before I think of what to do with it, I Google the owner's name and find out that he's been convicted of murdering a child 20-ish years ago. I find a handful of links that detail his story rather explicitly. I copy/paste all those links into an email to him, a throwaway account so he can't just reply to me as I deleted it afterwards. Said something like, well, if you want to be a jerk for no reason, I just bought your business domain. Here's all the links I plan on posting on it. I don't have to list your business name because all of your business listings across the internet have this URL pointing to it. Keep parking like a jerk. Yes, it's legal, but you are willfully doing this just to annoy me. I legally bought your domain and can legally link these articles. Park behind me again and I'll launch it. Within an hour, his truck was moved into his driveway. He asked me for the domain. I told him, when either you move or I move, I'll hand it over. Until then, it'll remain offline. The next story is titled, A coworker would kick my lunch seat across the room every day at lunch, and I got him back. For lunch, a group of my coworkers, our foreman and myself, would sit and eat lunch in the foreman's little hut every day. My seat was an empty-lidded 5-gallon bucket, and every day, as I was getting ready to sit, one coworker would kick it across the room before I had a chance to sit down. Everyone found it hilarious. It was funny the first couple of times, but it got old. So one day, I thought it would be hilarious to cut the bottom of the bucket off and then fill it with nuts and bolts and put the lid back on. That day at lunch, we go in, he tries to kick the bucket, of course it goes nowhere, and he angrily picks it up and tosses the bucket across the room. And of course, as he picks the bucket up, all the nuts and bolts go spilling out of the bottom. It was hilarious and everyone in the hut was laughing. I had brought in a camping chair, pulled it out, and sat down and said, "Damn man, it looks like you have a mess to clean up." The next story is titled, Give Me Your Property, You Don't Need It Right Now, and the Unexpected MVPs. I thought stores would be closed off or working much shorter hours during the holidays. Once I got to the store, I saw that I was, sadly for the people working there, mostly wrong. But that meant I would not need to buy as much as I initially thought. I brought with me 3 reusable shopping bags, but ended up needing just 1. While I can't say I have an emotional attachment to their bags, I do like them very much. I bought them because I loved the design, color, and print on them, and gave a bit more money than one would buying reusable shopping bags in the grocery store. They are nice, practical, and I like them. I finished loading my stuff onto the conveyor belt at the cash register and put the separator so that the people behind me do not waste time but start uploading their haul. Last, I put my 3 bags on top of my stuff because I had them in the shopping cart while I was picking stuff up. While I'm fishing out my wallet from my purse, I catch a flash or color in my periphery. I look up and see the woman behind me reached over and took 2 of my bags. Confused, I stutter, "Excuse me, those are not store bags, those are my own property. Please give them back to me." Entitled Woman. I know these are not the store ones, I'm not an idiot. This store has red bags with their logo on them. Me. Then why are you taking my property? Entitled Woman. You don't need all of them. Your groceries will fit nicely into just that one. I need these. Mind your own business and stop making a scene. Now I'm confused and getting irritated. I'm making a scene for confronting her politely about taking my stuff? But before I can even react, the older gentleman who was a customer before me in the line has just finished paying his bill, as well as the cashier around on this woman. Cashier: you will give her back her property or I will have the security escort you out. Customer before me: how dare you behave as if you are the one being inconvenienced? You take this girl's property and tell her she does not need it and should not resist you? If you need reusable bags, just buy them for yourself. Entitled woman starts huffing and puffing. Now wait just a minute, why are you all making such a scene? Cashier all but yells, now! I'm not negotiating or listening to you. Taking the property of others is stealing no matter how you try to reason it. The cashier then picks up her mic and calls security to the register and looks at entitled woman sternly. Cashier: what will it be? Entitled woman gives me back my bags while mumbling something about, it's just a few worthless bags. I thank the cashier and the old man and go on my merry way. I didn't do much but stand my ground, but the cashier and the old man were the MVPs. It did warm my heart that people saw something nasty and immediately jumped in to correct the foul behavior. Happy holidays, everyone. The next story is titled, We Can't Take Walk-Ups at Wendy's. I'm not sure if this fits here or not, but I'll put it here anyway. For context, I work at a Wendy's, and we can't take walk-ups at the window. This lady's walking up to the dining room, and I tell her it's closed because we're short-staffed, and she walks around to the back to go to the speaker. She then walks around to the window when I didn't take her order on the speaker because it only detects cars and anything with a motor, really. I tell her we can't take walk-ups because if she and her kid, did I mention she had a kid with her, were to be hit by a car in the drive-thru, we would be held liable for damages. She decides to say to her kid, sorry, looks like they don't want to serve us. We didn't want any anyway, and walks away with a full smile on her face. I'll admit what I did next was a bit rude, but I was so annoyed as I was closing the window, I go, and she looks back still smiling. Update, I'm seeing now a few hours later that this isn't entitlement but immense frustration about it. But there was no need for passive-aggressive words, and one comment felt pretty correct about how we put up with so much crap that we become annoyed in advance when these things happen. The last story is titled, Entitled Parent Thinks I'm Too Young to Be Disabled. Note, I tried to post this earlier today, but I posted it on my own profile instead. I'm a young female with POTS, postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. From the outside, I look just like any other woman around my age. However, this has caused many encounters with entitled people when I use accessible seats, bathrooms, parking spots, etc. I was at a shopping mall yesterday with my friends. Everything was going well until I had to use the bathroom and entitled mother arrived with a 5 or 6-year-old child. I use the accessible bathrooms because of dizziness and balance problems. Alright, here we go. I enter the accessible bathroom and entitled mother gives me a dirty look. After I close the door, she starts screaming. Excuse me, this is a family bathroom. I have a child and you clearly do not. Me. I'm sorry, but this is also an accessible bathroom. I have a disability and I need to use this bathroom. Entitled mother. A disability? Where is your wheelchair? Me. Not everyone with a disability uses a wheelchair. Please stop. Entitled mother doesn't like my response. You're too young to be disabled. You're probably faking it to get benefits. I do not receive disability benefits and am fully capable of working. Me. Trying not to get angry at entitled mother. People of any age or gender can be disabled. And like I said, I need to use this bathroom or else I might faint. Entitled mother. Fainting is not a disability. Let us use the bathroom. I am a single parent. She bangs on the door. I don't say anything after that because I realize that there's no point in fighting an entitled parent who probably won't learn anything from my words. I finish up and exit the bathroom. Entitled mother says to her child, see, that's a person who has no respect for innocent kids like you. I felt bad for the child because they looked really embarrassed and was pulling on their mom's leg. As they entered the bathroom, the child apologized for their mom's behavior. 5-year-old children can still be more mature than their parents. Thank you for watching. I would really appreciate it if you could like the video and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already.